Hey, okay. It says we're live, Roz. So
Hi.
hopefully,
Oh my God.
hopefully you can see, you can hear us. I can already see a few comments from those of you watching on YouTube. So if you can see us, if you can hear us, it would be great if you could put a comment wherever you're watching and just tell us where you're watching from. What part of the world are you joining us from? And a massive thank you to everybody who has taken the time to be with us today. I really appreciate it. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is the power of videos and sharing video content, and the fact that you guys are here, eager to learn about this, eager to hear what Roz has to share about her own journey is awesome, and we're really grateful to have you here with us. So if we haven't met before, my name is Robbie. I work with teachers. I come from a teaching background myself, but since 2022, my goal, my mission has been to help other teachers, other online teachers, independent teachers, to plug any gaps they have, whether it's in their marketing, in their sales process, so they can have more success and reach, teach, and impact more students independently. And I'm so happy to be here with Roz today because Roz has recently started to embrace video. I think it's fair to say embrace video content, and Roz is going to be sharing her journey, how she got started, the challenges she faced, and some of the cool things that have happened since she has started sharing videos. Now, if you haven't met Roz before, I think this could be a great opportunity, Roz, to introduce yourself to everyone here watching. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and the work you are doing at the moment?
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. I really appreciate it. And hi to everybody in the audience. That's great. So I'm a teacher. This is my 39th year in teaching in some form. I've had very many different iterations of teaching, and I'll share with you. I started in Toronto as a regular public school primary teacher, teaching the younger grades. And towards the end of that 20 years, I was also a computer teacher, teaching students to the whole, teaching students in the whole school. So August 20, 20 August '05, sorry, August '05, sorry, 2005. August 2005, I got an opportunity to move to Beijing, China, to become an international school principal there. I lived in Toronto all my life. I was not a spring chicken, but I was interested in the change just for the heck of it. I took a 1-year contract and stayed 15 years. During that time, yeah. During that time, I was an international school principal. Then I taught young children, adults, and high school students English. And then I also did consulting. I consulted for 12 years to Chinese English teachers to help them to be better English teachers. So I've almost come full circle. So back to teaching.
It's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, Roz. And it's cool because oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot one step. COVID came. How can we forget? Okay, COVID came. I was forced to repatriate to Toronto. What was I going to do? So I started teaching, and I'm still teaching students, teaching adults, and teaching teachers.
Awesome. And Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, just that little detail at the end. I know it's so long ago now. The pandemic. We how can we forget?
How can
So
we forget it?
I know. So for everyone watching, how can they get in touch with you? How can they connect with you? How can they follow you? How can they check out what you're doing at the moment? Where would be the best place for people to reach you and
You
connect?
can reach me in 4 places. You can reach me by LinkedIn or by Facebook or by Instagram, or you can email me.
Awesome. All right. So we'll share the links to Roz's social media in the comments wherever you
Thank
are
you. Thank you.
watching. So you mentioned LinkedIn. LinkedIn, of course, we know the topic today is video content. So the people here watching us, I'm sure they're curious. What got you interested in starting to post video content? What was it that sparked that interest? What was it that made you realize this is a new challenge you wanted to set for yourself?
Okay, so I call myself a bit of a techie. My family would think differently, but okay, that's for them. So the thing is that I really noticed that I've got a lot of connections, a lot of contacts on, especially on LinkedIn. Right now, it's about 12,000. But 2 months ago, I'm saying, like, I'm posting every day. I've got a newsletter and I've got not much traction in interest in what I'm saying. How can I stop the scrolling? In walked in Robbie. You walked in with your course on how to make videos that were inspiring. And I had seen your videos, a lot of your videos, and I knew that that's what I needed to do if I wanted to stop the scrolling so that people could listen to my message.
Well, thank you for the plug there. So I'm glad I came along at a good time. So when I chat to other teachers, Roz, and when I think about my own experience when I started creating content, when I started making videos, some of the most common challenges I hear are number one, the tech. Okay, I don't know how to set it up. Do I need a new camera? Do I need a microphone? How do I do the editing? Another big challenge I hear is video is kind of scary, right? Content, posting content, putting stuff out there on the internet in general is scary, but video, it's almost like that next level because we're showing more of ourselves in a way we're more vulnerable. So that can be a really big challenge to get over. And another challenge I hear teachers mention is I don't know what to talk about. I know video is important. I know I need to post video content, but I'm not sure what to talk about. So, first of all, I'm curious for those of you here watching us, what are your challenges? Do you have any challenges right now? Any obstacles to posting videos? What are they? It would be really cool if you could let us know in the chat. And Roz, for you specifically, you mentioned you used the words major resistance to posting video content. What were your biggest obstacles? What were your biggest challenges? What caused that resistance initially for you?
Well, so for the 12 years that I taught Chinese English teachers, I help them to become better at teaching English. For those 12 years, it was nothing to stand up in front of an audience of 2 or 300 people on a Saturday or on a professional development course. It was nothing. But for me, that's just like being in the classroom. But video is a whole different thing for me. For some reason, it's resistant for me because I need the script, I need the technology, I need all these things. Uh, it just is scary because what if I say the wrong thing? I don't know. Those were my challenges. Yeah.
I'm really glad you mentioned that because a lot of people watching that like us, they come from a teaching background. So they're accustomed to standing up in front of people, to presenting, to teaching. It is a different energy with videos, right? Even though it's just you, your laptop, and your camera, it sometimes it does feel like a switch flicks. So how did you get over that? resistance. Do you have any tips for anyone watching who relates to what you've described?
I wish I knew the answer. I just said, Roz, you've got to do it. I can't verbalize it anymore. It was scary because this computer, Zoom, SteamYard, whatever we're on, it doesn't promote that kind of feeling or honesty or connection. It's hard to get that connection. I think that's what it is. So maybe just feeling more comfortable, just biting the bullet and doing it.
I really appreciate you saying that because I feel a lot of us, we wait until we feel ready. We wait until we feel good, until we feel confident. You said you did it scared. You did it when you were uncomfortable and you bit the bullet. And I think that's an amazing piece of advice. A mentor told me once when I was beginning this online entrepreneurship journey, he said that courage needs to come before confidence. So instead of waiting around until you feel confident to do something, be brave. Be brave enough to do it first. Be brave enough to do it scared and actually doing it, putting it out into the world, getting that practice and getting those repetitions. That's what builds the real confidence. So I'm glad you said that. You know, we'll keep it real here. You know, video, yeah, it can be scary. It probably is going to be uncomfortable in the beginning. So you've been able to get over that initial resistance. By the way, everyone, thank you so much for the comments in the chat. Keep them coming. Thank you everyone who is joining us live. It's amazing to have you here. So you mentioned at the beginning it was scary, Roz, but you've gone on now since you started posting videos. It's been around 2 months. I believe you've posted 8 videos in the last 2 months. And I know with content in general, consistency is a big challenge, right? It's hard to stay motivated. It's hard to stay consistent. With videos, that can be even more challenging. How did you do it? How did you get started and be consistent for 2 months and get all of those videos out there?
Well, I post every day, whether I like it or not. And I just keep doing it. And how do I do it? I'm always in tune to things that are new, things in the news, things that are um, essential to teaching, ideas that other people are sharing. It helps me to put my own creativity into a post.
Mhm.
And I've got to say, I, I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn, Robbie, but you really helped with your hooks.
So, for anyone watching who maybe is unfamiliar with the term hook in this context, in the context of video content marketing, how would you explain what a hook is to someone who hasn't come across that term before?
I would say that it is the expression that gets at the heart of your content in a way that stops them from scrolling.
Great, great definition. And that's one of the key principles when it comes to content. An analogy I really like about posting content on social media is when we begin, we can feel like it's playing catch with our audience, right? We're taking time, we're thinking, how can I share something valuable with people for free? And we think when we hit post and we put it out there, people are just going to be there, ready to catch it, ready to consume it, ready to engage with it. It's the exact opposite, right, Roz? Really, in reality, content creation, it's more like a game of dodgeball. Everybody is filtering information and they're asking themselves, if I give up my time, if I stop the scroll and pay attention to this video, what's in it for me? What do I get? How do I benefit? And that's not selfish. That's just human nature, right? So the hook is how we answer that question for our audience, how we answer that question for the viewer, hey, if you
Yeah.
stay with me for the next few minutes, here's how you're gonna benefit.
Hmm.
Here's what I'm gonna give you in exchange for the time you're giving me. So
Exactly.
awesome. I'm
And
gonna jump.
you,
Yeah,
you know, that point is so poignant because what's happened is a spinning wheel. I post, someone not just likes, but they comment. All of a sudden, I'm in the game. All of a sudden, they're in the game. All of a sudden, there's some kind of a connection. And it motivates me to keep doing more.
great point about the connection. And with content, video has that extra advantage when it comes to making a connection. And my personal belief is that's even more important now than it has been before, because what happened around 18 months ago, boom, AI drops on us. And now everybody can use AI to potentially generate an entire post top to bottom. And I think one of the consequences of that is that people's skepticism has increased. So now when people are scrolling down social media, it's not only is this good content, it's did this person actually write this content? So as of right now, video is a great way to cut through that doubt and skepticism and say, hey, here I am, here's me, here's my message. And it's really me. So it gives us that extra tool to make a connection with our
And
audience.
yeah, yeah. And the proof of it is in the fact that all of the sudden, like my posts, except for the hook on the video, except for that part, everything is the same that I've been doing for the last several years. But all of the sudden, it's happening. I'm getting a connection with the people that have connected with me all these years, but in a way that's valuable, and we're talking and we're sharing ideas, and that's the valuable part of it. Yes.
That's awesome. That's really cool how you plugged in that extra, I guess, missing ingredient in this case on top of what you already know, what you've been doing. And that was what sparked the difference. And I want to ask you about that difference, some of the results, some of the things that have happened since you started posting these videos. But I also want to check into the chat here. I'm seeing some really great comments. So I want to give a quick shout out to those of you who are here watching, wherever you're watching as well. If you're enjoying this so far, if you're finding it valuable, it would be amazing if you could just give it like a little like, or, you know, a thumbs up or a heart or whatever the emojis are on the platform you're watching, because that will help this video reach even more people. And in the chat now, Jess Essential Life, very cool name, by the way, says start scrappy and scared. The first 100 videos will be your worst videos. Yeah, I love it. Someone told me before, when it comes to video content, right, one of the things we tell ourselves as a reason not to make videos is I'm just not a natural. Some people are naturals and I'm not a natural. And it's such a limiting belief, because the reality is the people you look at who seem to be natural now, in all likelihood, they've just done more repetitions than you. They've just done it more times. And that's how they've built themselves up to that stage. And an example I always share with people is Gary Vee, right? If you've heard of Gary Vee now, one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world, so many viral pieces of content, viral videos right now. If you go back far enough, there's a video of him on YouTube from 2006 speaking on camera for his first business, something about wine tasting, and it's like a different person. So a lot of people would look at Gary Vee today, 2024, and say, oh, he's just a natural. That's not me. Go back and look at him in 2006, and you can see that transformation. So thank you so much for that comment. Yeah, Ina's here. It's great to have you here too. Ina, Brandon says, I've continually had problems creating faceless videos, not on the script writing, but the actual video image part. So I guess that's more on the tech side of things. So we'll definitely touch on that today too. Brandon, thank you for sharing that. Someone else says the fear of exposure. That can be a big one as well. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for sharing the comments. Keep them coming. Someone asked as well how long we're gonna be here. So originally we'd scheduled 30 minutes. We'll do our best to get everything covered and hopefully answer some of your questions too in that amount of time. So, Ross, the next thing I wanted to ask you about was, since you've started posting these videos, since you've been putting yourself out there with video content, have you noticed any changes? And if yes, what has happened?
The big changes, as I said, Robbie, the big change has been that I am connecting with these people, and these people that are my connections are connecting with me, and I'm my message is resonating because people are saying the nicest things about all the videos, really. Just so it's not my uh, it's not perfect, but I know because I'm a teacher, and you know because you're a teacher, that practice makes us better.
I think that's the key point, Roz, because another thing that holds us back is, oh, if I post now, it's not going to be perfect. I want to wait until it's going to be perfect. And that idea of aiming for perfection, it can be so damaging because it stops people from actually taking action. And as many of you have said in the comments today, action, those repetitions are actually what help you become better. So yeah, thank you for
Yes.
sharing that.
So
Um
someone asked a question, Robbie. I don't know if it was for you or for me, but I'm Canadian.
oh, about okay. Yeah, Roz, and you're joining us from Toronto today.
Toronto.
Uh,
Yeah.
a place I would love to visit
Oh,
someday. Yeah.
yeah.
There's a few questions gone in here. Let's see if we can pick up a few more. Someone mentioned the fear of exposure, Roz. So I guess that would
Ah.
relate back to what we touched on about it can be scary to put yourself out there. What advice would you give to any teachers watching who share that same fear? They're feeling scared to put themselves out there.
Well, I I am in this form not an off the cuff person. I'm talking off the cuff now, but really that's because of so much practice in the last 2 months. But in when I started, I had a script. I used a script. I I focused. I put the camera in such a place that it looks like I'm not reading it. I think people who know how to make videos professionally would know that I'm reading, but I think the average everyday connection of mine, they want to know the message. So you just got to keep doing it. Write the script if you need it. Use a teleprompter if you need it.
Right on. And it was the exact same for me, Roz. Initially, my first videos, the first time, think about it like teaching, right? You're new to teaching. It's your first time ever teaching the lesson. For me, my lesson planning notes, they were so detailed and they would be right here with me for the whole class. So I can make sure I'm staying on track. I can make sure I'm not missing everything. But then the second time you do that lesson, you feel more comfortable. You rely a little bit less heavily on your notes. The notes don't need to be as detailed. Maybe the third time you're down to bullet points. So it can be that same progression with video content. And initially for me too, it was a script, Roz. I would write out in full, just like a piece of content, what I'm going to say
Mhm.
in the video. And then it took time. But after enough repetitions, I got it down to bullet points, key points. And now I'm almost there, I think, where I can kind of go off the cuff. I can be a little bit more spontaneous, but it's a journey.
Okay, my preparation is on the sofa over there. I did it intentionally.
Awesome. And while we're being completely transparent, I have my notes here to make sure we
No
don't get
problem.
completely lost.
No
Uh,
problem. You're the monitor. So
awesome. So I see Ina has a question here in the chat. Ina is watching over on Facebook. How important is the production value of the videos? I'm worried about editing skills, background, sound quality, etc. So it's a really good question because I think a lot of people do think about these things and do worry about them. What advice would you give to Ina, Roz?
I just used what I had. I didn't use my phone. A lot of people, I think, use their phones, but I used my laptop and I just uh, I used. my MacBook and the video editing portion, the software. Um, what's it? The video recording software, QuickTime.
Mm,
It's comes with Mac, and so you've got some software that's video recording on your computer or your phone. Just go with that. I've got a light that's kind of so. Lots of people have the round lights, but
right.
I don't have one because gives me a glare on my glasses. So I try to make the light as good as I can. And the setup in my office, this is my office. I'm here 5 days a week doing my thing.
It's awesome. And I think, yeah, you know, to answer your question, probably the best way to look at it is look at Roz and I today. So similarly to Roz, I'm just sitting in front of my laptop. I don't have any fancy lights. I'm facing the window, so at least there's some light on my face, but it's getting a little bit dark here, so it probably doesn't look too good. And I've got no fancy equipment here. The only real piece of tech I have apart from my laptop is this microphone here, and that's just to improve the audio quality. Many laptops, the audio quality will be sufficient, but if it's not, I think one good investment would be in a clear microphone, as that is, of course, something people are going to notice as soon as they start watching your video. But hopefully, Roz and I's limited setup here, we don't have any super fancy, expensive equipment. Hopefully, we're still communicating effectively. Hopefully, we're still doing a good job inspiring and encouraging you, sharing some value with you, and our lack of expensive equipment hopefully hasn't detracted from that message. So if we can do it like this, I'm sure you can do it as well.
And one more thing that I would like to mention is that a long time ago, maybe a year ago, there was this big idea that your your background is your new business suit. And so if you have some books in your background, if you have a plant in your background, uh, that makes it look more professional.
For sure. The best piece of advice I'd give someone right now watching who is worried about the lack of expensive equipment,
Not
having it
necessary.
exactly, having the equipment, it's not gonna hurt, but you don't need it to get started. Just get started. Sit down, get in front of that laptop camera, hit record, start practicing, start getting your repetitions, and let everything else take care of itself. Um, awesome. Okay. Amy D asks, how long does it take you to make a video or to write a script? So Roz, so you're about 2 months in at this point. Would you like to tell us, maybe start with how long it took you for that first video 2 months ago and how long it's taking you at the moment?
So the time frame gets less and less, but you need I needed a couple of hours in the beginning. I've recorded the video 4 or 5 times until I got it the way I liked it. But now it's not as long, much less time. Yeah.
Oh,
Practice makes it better.
and faster. I've noticed the same thing with me. Those first few videos I remember during the lockdowns, it was my housemate probably thought I was insane at the time. He was working in the kitchen, I was working in the living room recording the videos, and he probably just heard me over and over, starting the recording again and again. Thankfully, the more I did it, the less mistakes I made, I guess the better I got and the faster I became. The key point is you've got to start. And when you start, the way the world works, typically the first time we do something, we're not going to be very good. It's going to take a little bit longer, but that's how we make the progress. Um, it's really, really cool. Comments coming in here now. Yeah, Ina says thank you for the answer. Jess Essential Life says sunlight, a smartphone, and a $20 mic and free video editing software has got her over 190,000 followers. You guys are correct. Keep the technology Simple. So if that doesn't inspire anybody out there who's letting a lack of expensive tech hold them back, I
I'm
think look at Jeff
gobsmacked.
Central, 190,000 followers with $20 worth of equipment. So that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Um, Deborah says, I used to interview, and it's best to look professional and show your true excitement to teach like you would in the classroom. I think that's wonderful advice. I feel the energy we bring to video is really important because, like teaching, right, that's something we want to transfer. In teaching, we want to transfer that energy and excitement to our students, and video gives us a really good opportunity to transfer that to our audience. So I don't know about you, Roz. Do you use any little hacks or any little? Do you have a routine before you start recording to get your energy up, to get you ready to ready to go?
The best thing I do is just smile. I put that smile on and it just comes back to me. Keep smiling. Yeah.
It it makes sense. I think it's Tony Robbins says motion causes emotion, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of like move yourself into a higher energetic state. So sometimes my trick, my secret, if you want to call it that, I just clap a few times before I start recording. I move my body a little bit, and I find that can kind of raise my energy a little bit too. So awesome. Okay, so many comments here. Please keep them coming. This is amazing. A few people as well asking about apps and software. So wherever you're watching this, at the end, I'm going to share a link to the same video editing apps that I shared with Roz when we worked together. So those apps, they have a free version and a paid version, but you'll be able to access the free version, test them out, explore the features. So hopefully that will be helpful too. And I'm also going to share a recording of a webinar I hosted for teachers actually last summer, but we go into more detail. Roz touched on hooks today and they're important. So it goes into a little more detail about some of the principles and some strategies to help your videos attract more attention and make sure they serve your business goals. So totally free. We're going to share a link with everybody here watching in the comments wherever you're watching. So keep an eye out for that at the end. So Roz, I know a lot of the people who are joining us here, they've been thinking about posting videos for a while, but they just haven't got over that resistance yet. Do you have any final words of encouragement you would say to teachers there? Maybe teachers who are in that same position you were 2 or 3 months ago, just before you got started.
Yeah, I just have to say and repeat it again. You've just got to do it. Do you know Nike? Just do it. Just do it. Just get on with it. And what happens is that instantly you feel the benefit of it. Trust me, you do. And just go for it. I have, I guess, a streak of bravery in my bones. But um, ask Robbie. He's great. He'll help you with everything.
Thank you again, Roz, for that. So you know where to find me. Of course, I'll help, and I'm going to share that link now in the comments. So this link, it's going to give you access to editing apps you can check out, and it is also going to link a free training I hosted for teachers that goes more in depth about video content. So I really hope that's helpful. If you haven't gotten started yet, I hope it helps you get over that hurdle and start posting videos, because as we've mentioned today, it is a really powerful tool to add to your toolbox. It's a great way to build trust, create a deeper connection with your audience. And of course, marketing, it's all about overcoming skepticism. And I feel right now in the world, that level of skepticism has never been higher with AI content. So video gives you that way to
Yeah.
cut through people's doubts and their skepticism. So finally, I just want to say a massive thank you, Roz, for being here, for agreeing to do this, to share your story with us. All of you who have been here watching, I can see people have stayed, the number of people watching us live has stayed the same the whole time. So thank you so much for giving us your attention. Thank you so much, everybody, for leaving comments, for sharing your experience, for sharing advice. We really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you really soon at the next event, the next training. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Take care, everybody.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.